My youngest sister.
Mine.
I can't draw.
My one sister is actually a really good artist.
We're live.
Oh
shit.
We're live talking about drawing.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't draw.
We
very
always
well.
just
My
come
youngest
in.
sister's very good. She's even drawn for people's tattoos.
Yeah.
So I did not get that gene.
She got all of it.
She got it.
That was not your gift.
No, but some of my sons can draw really well.
Olivia was a good artist. I think she designed her first tattoo. What?
Yeah. Right out of the gate.
Yeah. All right. Who cares? I don't care. Good enough. All right, then.
My art's in my brain.
Ooh.
It doesn't translate out. It's kind of where mine there.
It's kind of where mine hangs
Names
out.
may be changed to protect individuals' identities.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Did I say that? I meant Schmolivia.
Schmonica.
Schmamantha. Anyways.
So, Finding Paradise, episode 8.
I believe so.
I think this is episode 8.
We should have looked it up and confirmed.
I'm 99% sure.
98% sure.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good number.
90% sure. I'm like 70% convinced.
It doesn't matter. It's just a number.
That's right. But here we are. We haven't had a story for a bit. The last one we did, Finding
was
Paradise.
It mine?
Well, the last story was yours, I believe. We did Finding Paradise 7, the partners episode,
Yeah,
but Finding Paradise
like
6 was
individual
you.
one. Dang.
So that was August? September?
August?
August or September?
I think we released it. Or wait, to release it late July. So I think we're trying to make it to like my anniversary of leaving, but we released it before.
Yeah. So we did that.
Even though this really isn't about me right now.
Yeah, now we got to find out, though.
Well,
So yours part 5 months ago. So whatever that was. August 2nd.
all right.
So
Well, there you go.
yep.
Well, cripes. We're blessed though,
Permanently.
dude. It's
So
your
blessed.
presents.
So yeah. And now we've got Michael with us. So welcome, dude.
Do you like to go
Thanks,
by
man.
Michael or Mike?
I prefer Michael, but I'd prefer I wasn't named that period. But I'm stuck with
It's
what
a
I
very
got.
common name.
It is so
like
common.
mine and yours,
Yeah.
Tyler. Like we're always running into
Like,
listening name.
we know like 4. or
There
5
are, yeah, I guess the
others.
younger generation from us. There's a lot of Ethans.
I always
Right,
wish
yeah.
I was named like Forest or River or something. Like when my parents be
Forest.
hippies.
Yeah.
I could see you being a forest or an
Or
apple,
the trees.
you know.
You were thinking
Apple.
You were thinking Gump. You were taking a dig at it.
Oh yeah,
That was a dick move.
no, I mean,
A dig.
When he gets
A
done
dig.
running.
Just taking a dig at him.
Yeah, take a dig.
Yeah, I thought of
Oh,
something
is this
else
like-
to dig.
Like
Oh, I
poop?
was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Like
is this
taking
our
a digger?
Yeah.
segment
Well, yeah.
where we fill it Amanda in on common
Poops.
lingo?
Dig doesn't just mean poops.
I don't know if this could have started better.
Leave it to us.
It could have if I hadn't caught myself there and I face planted the table. That would have been more fun.
Yeah, that would be great. There's still time.
Yeah, give it. Yeah,
Yeah, we
It's
got
young.
a while.
So yeah, we have not done a story per se on Finding Paradise in a bit. So
We got to crack our cold ones here.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
welcome.
I know which one I'm eyeing that I want to try.
Go for it.
second from the left, you.
Yeah,
Yep. So I
yeah.
figued I want to try that.
Oh, that
I guess
one?
we can.
Oh, with the
we can,
marshmallow?
like,
Yeah,
swap germs.
Yeah, we can swap spits. All of
So
us.
that leaves these.
So what do you got there?
I got. Oh, sorry. Millennial Mansion.
From what brewery?
Even though like
Prairie Artisans.
your Prairie
Oh.
Artisan Ales, it's supposed to be an imperial sour ale with apple peel, lemon peel, lime, blueberry, cherry, and marshmallow flavor.
What in the world?
So I am 99% sure that my friend James, that we talked about him just a bit ago, gave us the book recommendation.
Oh yeah.
He got me a beer. I think it was just called The Bomb, and it was a shit. What is that now? I can't remember, but it was like with
Sour
cacao
bomb?
nib
Oh.
and like vanilla bean and like pepper or something. And I'm pretty sure it was from Prairie Artisan Ales. So I've had one of their beers.
Cool.
Okay.
Side note.
I think I'll
Long road to a
I'll
short
wait.
ending, but all right.
It was. It was gonna be a long morning
Anticlimactic.
one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's
Cool.
all it was about. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait to crack mine until everyone else has
Okay,
chosen
cool.
theirs.
What is this? Everything with the
Plugged
kitchen
up
sink
here.
again? I gotta
That's-
find
that's-
out.
Yeah, it
that's
looks like it
pretty
has some ruins on it.
interesting.
Maybe.
Hazy,
Oh,
juicy.
this is that
IPA.
They kind
weird
of all are
barrel
catching my
aged
attention.
sour blonde
It's gonna be
ale with
extra hazy.
mosaic hops. I'll try this
Extra
one.
hazy. What does that even mean?
It's got lupulin in it. It's gonna be hazy.
It's
What does that
unfiltered,
even
kind of
mean?
Hazy,
unfiltered,
like
so
it's-
like this one.
it's thick. Like
Think
a lot
like
of beers,
orange
they'll
juice with
filter,
pulp
you
or
know?
without pulp. Pulp.
We're gonna go to the distill brewery.
Poops.
Were you saying poop?
Had a mini stroke for a
Is poop gonna
second.
be the
I'm
the theme.
was
the
drawn
theme
in
of
by
this one?
art.
Right.
There is
If it's-
also this still
Dry
hanging out
out.
over here,
And this one?
and a coffee bit. Oh, well, you know,
No, yeah, don't finish it.
let's do it.
I messed it
So,
up.
here we are, folks.
All right.
Here we go.
Episode 8. Oh, we got beer all
It's
over the
sprayed the
microphone.
mic-
Oh, I squirted it.
Squirted it. Squirt.
Squirted it. Oh,
Hey, this is
not
like a.
There we go.
It's a like a red color.
Oh, this is very
That's
sour.
like that's not gonna quite work. It's just all the way, yeah, like double it up.
Oh man.
Let's get this thing.
This is not bad.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Oh, sorry.
This ain't gonna work.
Oh shit! I forgot we've got this guy over here too. Triple berry bomb.
Ooh,
This is gonna be long enough. We're gonna get into that. Don't worry.
okay.
So I'm trying this atomic tangerine from Tin Whiskers. I've been a big fan of
Oh,
their
yeah.
beers.
Is it good?
Very sour.
It's
That
okay.
Cosmos, that barrel
Tastes
aged.
like sucking on a lemon.
Yeah, so the barrel aged sour blonde. That's weird.
Just take
You're
a sip of
brave.
yours. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, nobody else was gonna drink it. Somebody's gonna do it. Oh man, that's brutal.
That's all right. It doesn't taste like a beer. It tastes like a tangerine juice. I don't know.
Is that the hazy?
No,
Yeah, dude.
it's not the
You wanna
hazy.
try
How
This
did
is
I-
the Tin Whiskers Atomic
Somehow I
Tangerine.
missed my mouth and just poured it all in my.
Well, that's not bad.
And it's red
Yeah, it's
color. There you go.
yours is kind of like
And it hit your
maybe
pants.
shandy.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sour. Definitely a sour.
This is kind of like a juice.
Mine's hazy.
Yeah.
Here.
Whatever that means.
There you go. Try that.
I like my choice better.
That's good. Try this one.
What the hell? It gross.
That was like-
And one?
Here, try that.
I'll try it. We'll give each other COVID.
No.
I had it before.
Can't. Oh, sours. Instant acid reflux.
That's the haziness there.
Got that haze.
Hazy.
No, thank
Hazies
you.
are my favorite.
I gotta try this one.
That is such a.
This is the one that everybody hates.
It's sour, hoppy, metaphysical, tropical is what it says on the side.
I mean, great.
What's
description.
metaphysical taste like?
Like the metaverse.
Oh.
That's-
I got you.
Oh yeah, of course. It tastes like DMT.
You like that one? You want to swap?
I'm not sure yet.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I
Alright.
like this one more than that one.
Really?
I honestly.
Oh.
But I like
oh
sours.
yeah, no, you were gonna hate
Yeah.
that one, like Scott.
Let's not.
Yeah, I
this
tried
one.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried it.
All right.
I honestly haven't had an IPA in a while.
I had one last night
Yeah, so that's
and this
refreshing.
morning.
Hoppy.
I keep covering you. Sorry.
Well,
Back up.
Straighten your back.
But then I'm
Pull
pushing
your
my
shoulders.
boobs out.
Anyway, okay.
Anyway, let's move along.
It's
Come again?
serious here now.
well,
Take 3.
haven't yet.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
I got beer in my beard.
Oh no, not
Better
that.
than beard in your beer.
You got beard.
Yeah.
That's true.
Very,
That's
very true.
So episode 8. Michael, welcome, dude. Seriously.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you. So we haven't known Michael for a very long time, but I have known like your family.
Yeah.
I never knew you existed, dude. Seriously, I didn't even know
No,
you
me
were.
neither.
I vaguely knew your sister had a brother.
Yeah. And then she has 2 of them.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I think I saw you on Goat Legs channel.
Okay.
Or maybe I saw you comment on, I think before that, I saw you comment on a Facebook on like maybe Jay the Comedians or something.
Could have been. Yeah, friends with Jay
Page.
too.
And I was like, Aaron's. That sounds so familiar. So I just dug a little. I was trying to dig, and then I was like, I'm just gonna message, like, see if there's connection. Because when I realized, when you realize there's community out there, it's one thing. But then when you realize, like, there's people that like are connected to people that you
like,
know,
oh shit, yeah,
it gives you a whole different sense of like grounding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, like the first person that like reached out to me kind of in that way was coincidentally a friend of ours in the Twin Cities. Name starts with a J. She probably wouldn't care if we said her name, but anyway.
I think I know her.
You do know her.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, she's commented. She's like, "Oh, I'd love to see Michael. I haven't seen him in forever." So yeah, she said she was sad that she wasn't able to come to the meetup last time, and she might be coming to the next one. Cool. So next weekend. So something to look forward to. But yeah, I had posted something on Reddit, and I think I might have made mention of Minnesota or something. Anyway, I got a message on Reddit from this person. It's like, "Hey, just reaching out. Like, maybe you could use a friend," and someone like semi-local. My name is. I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Yeah, we know each other." My ex, or well, now ex, yeah, my wife is the one that commented on the picture that your husband posted on Facebook yesterday. Like we knew each other well, and she commented back. She's like, "Oh, hey, Tyler." But yeah, when you realize that, oh, these aren't all just anonymous faces, and I have no idea who these people are. Like, oh, these are actually people that I know because. So many people are the fuck out.
Yep.
So
I don't know. Have you ever listened to the Shunned podcast?
Yeah, I was actually on it.
You were on it?
With a pseudonym.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. But
shit,
it was about business, like trying to he does a series with like what are you doing like after kind of thing. He's done some. And it was so my name on there I think was Jack. So but I didn't like it because and it wasn't his fault. I like Michael a lot. He's great at I think the interview, but I was nervous. I wasn't feeling it. I was just like, and it was my first time, and it was like over Zoom, and it was just it didn't come out. I didn't get to express how I felt, and it was all my fault, really. I just brought it up because that was one of the first times I heard people around this area, besides like us, immediate friends. That I was like, I know that person. And they say like Northern State or something. I'm like, no, that is so and so. Like I know them. And then sure enough, So I reached out to a couple of them, and I was like, Jesus, there's tons of us. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think they say. I think I've heard a stat like 60% of young people will leave at least. I just hope some of those are my like nieces, nephews.
Right.
My kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, head for the hills, kids.
Absolutely.
I would say probably about
your kids.
That percentage of the people I grew up with are out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, and when we look at like even people from like our generation and like your sister and like kind of the ones that grew up in like the Blue Earth area there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many of them are out. Like, there's very few of them that are still in.
Yeah.
So,
I'm curious about the people that have made it into their 40s that are still like in that mindset, and they'll just, I don't know. Hopefully they won't, but I wonder if they'll just coast into continuing
to the new system.
Yeah.
That's there's a lot of them that are at that point, it seems like, but too proud to admit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But so I knew your sister. I was in a congregation with her. And
then I'd heard of your last name, obviously, is pretty known in the Midwest.
Lundholm, you could say.
I
always said
your uncle, I think.
Which one?
You have one
probably the one
circuit over.
The most
the one that's the CO.
Yeah, he was good friends, or they are probably still with my one sister and her husband. So I was like, that sounds, it's got to be the same. So it's just like more connection.
Right. Yeah. I always said that if there was like a Amish mafia, but for J-Dubs, my family would run The southern half of Minnesota.
Yeah.
At least.
It'd be like Fargo, but just
Yep.
southern Minnesota.
The J-Dub Mafia.
Yeah, your family would be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and we kind of connected over like Facebook and shit
Mhm.
like that. And then Michael was here when we did the surprise party. Like yeah, it's been cool. Been to
Was
some
it
meetups.
Friendsgiving?
Or Friendsgiving, not
Friendsgiving.
surprise party.
I was
Sorry,
like, wait,
Friendsgiving.
who? What?
Wrong one. You were here for Friendsgiving, and yeah, been to the meetups with us. So
Yeah.
welcome,
Cheers.
man.
Yeah.
Well,
Glad to have you.
Thanks for coming.
It's
They
not making any
claim
noise.
Yeah, they don't make- they don't make
These
those.
labels.
We're clinking.
Fake aluminum?
For people that are like not listening, we clinked our
Very soft.
quiet ass cans together.
I guess the first thing I wanted to kind of say is why I wanted to do this, because it's been a long time in the making, you know. And I guess I can get into how long in a little bit, but mostly for not the people that know me now, but people that I grew up with. It's particularly like my family. You know, you're told to be quiet, like about this. Like if you're gonna leave, just shut up. But mostly I just want to set the record straight. Like I am not doing this because I'm weak and I just want to sin or whatever. Like it or I'm dumb or I've been fooled. Like I probably know more about their religion. I know more about their religion than they know about their religion. You know,
Yeah.
so that was the main reason. Like, and just setting the record straight was the biggest deal. Like, I'm not weak. It wasn't because I'm not strong enough to be, you know, righteous or whatever. It's because I figured out what was really going on, and it just didn't work. It didn't work with who I was either, you know, and that should be okay with everyone,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, it's a strength to take action on.
Yeah, it's pretty much the complete opposite of being weak.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That
Sucks.
and then like
Shit.
if we were talking about nieces and nephews, if my niece and my two nephews that are in, if they ever wake up, if they ever need somebody, I'm here. Like, come find me.
For sure.
You won't be alone. Like I probably after I woke up a little bit, I reconnected with some family that I had been a long time with, and it was like, okay, I still have a little family, and that was a big deal.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. Well, we went to Colorado last year, and we were able to meet up with a bunch of my family that I hadn't seen since they had left. You know, and it was always like, oh, they went apostate, and they just don't even. It's like, oh well, and then like you're scared of them, like.
Right. Yeah.
But then like I started talking to some of them, like saying that we're coming out, and they were excited. They're like, oh man, it'd be awesome to see you, and like they were excited to meet Amanda and stuff. It's like, you aren't shitty people.
wait, you're kind of nice.
Like, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And then, you know, at the end of this, you have to stay tuned. I have a special message.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to the whole thing. So
Yes.
especially you elders out there.
Right on. So, when were you born? Start from the bottom.
This is Ethan's role. He was saying, So-
Take us back
So-
to the beginning.
The story is Michael.
So my mom was being lifted from the gurney to the hospital bed, and I came out in
Oh.
between, and I was caught. That's when I was born.
Damn
True
it.
story.
You shot out too?
Yeah. You know, for youngest bungee jumper ever. No, I kind of have a little story I want to tell, like the beginning of the end, because I like it wasn't a part that woke me up or like let me see like what was going on. It was hypocrisy was always like a thing that like it just didn't sit with me. Like you're saying one thing, but you're doing other things, and it was just so the one story. That happened. This was the beginning of the end where I was just like, I'm done. I wasn't awake yet, but I was just like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. It's maybe there was two different subconsciouses going in my brain. Like, I'm done, even though this is the truth. or I'm just I couldn't. I can't even put it into words what it was. I was just like, I
What's
can't.
distance just beating the shit out of you?
Yeah, for sure.
I remember that feeling. Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you're starting to hear things that conflict with what you know.
Yeah.
So
And things you've been quietly questioning
Right.
your whole
Mhm.
life are starting to come to fruition. You're like, oh wait, maybe that is right,
mhm.
which sucks.
Yep. So when I moved up to Minneapolis when I was 18, I moved into a congregation that had some like perennial elders that were like really well known. And probably, I want to say like 5-6 years ago, maybe 6. One of those elders died. He was probably like late 80s, 90s. But he had been like, if you knew this congregation, you knew this elder.
And so for like context, so you moved there when you were like 18, you're 40?
Yeah, I'm 41.
Oh, yeah, just so you're 41. So like 15
a lot of times
years
went by.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to that hall anymore, but and I wasn't really going to halls. But I had business partner that was actually going to that hall, or also sister hall. Oh, but I knew a lot of people that were involved in that hall, so I was getting information about. So he had died, and his probably 6 months later, I hear his wife is disfellowshipped, and I'm like, she's like 85. She wasn't fucking. You know?
I don't know, man. Retirement homes get crazy.
I mean, she hit on me a couple times, but
Sure.
I mean, I digress.
It happens.
No, she got disfellowship, and the more I heard, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. Then I found out it was for drinking, and she had been married to her husband for like 50 years.
Sure.
So maybe more. So I was like, yeah, of course she's drinking. Like,
it's the only thing you
you
can
just
do.
lost your like partner of your life, and you disfellowshipped her. And then my ex-wife, my now ex-wife, it was so like repulsive to me that I couldn't not say things. So I started like saying things that were like, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'd say it to her. And she went and told my sisters, or one of my sisters, and they called me, and I'm like, well, this is good for trust. But and they're like, well, there's a lot of you don't know about the situation. And I'm like, what do I need to know? And they're like, well, she had been having an alcohol problem for years. I'm like, well, that just made it worse, because I was like, so because her husband was an elder, it was covered away. It was fine until he's not there anymore.
Now he's not there.
So it was a double hypocrisy. I was like,
right.
And then probably within 6 months of her being DF'd, she died. So, and like, it makes me emotional still. Like, it's like, and it wasn't like I was close to her or them. But it was like, you killed her.
Yeah.
That blood is on you.
Yeah, that's
Like she needed,
Yeah.
like, and if you know anything about like JW doctrine, for the people that don't, like,
Right.
if you're disfellowshipped and you die, like,
Yeah.
you ain't coming back.
No.
Yeah. That's
You and Hitler.
Right.
You know? So it was like, then I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want anything to do with him. And like anyone who I'd say to, like, you don't know all the facts. Like, I
hate
know
that line.
everything that I need to know.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me anything. Like, you could tell me she run through the streets naked, like tipping over cows. Like, I don't care.
They're great. She needs some help.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And she was a nice lady.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
that was the beginning of the end. Now we can
Right. Yeah.
go back in, but
Now, like, shit, what Quentin Tarantino. Back.
Yeah.
right.
What led up to?
is this part of the same like hall that we both went to different congregations at the
No,
same one? Or
Can I say that hall? I don't really care. I mean, it's all.
I don't see why
This
not.
is Northeast Minneapolis.
okay.
Northeast.
So I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just curious, 'cause I don't remember hearing about that whole
Yeah.
thing, but I know that we were at least in the same
Yep. Later on.
building. Later, I don't remember you from then. Or at least I don't know if we really crossed paths or not, but
Probably not.
we probably knew some of the same people at least.
In like around 30, I moved to Florida for a couple of years, and when I came back, once I moved to Florida, I never went to a hall in Florida, and so honestly, I don't know where my publisher card is even. So because I never requested it when I moved to Florida, because I was done kind of even then, and that was before this story. But
So you've been PMO for a long time.
PMO, but still mentally in.
Oh.
More poemy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know,
Yeah.
So we should explain it. So we should.
Yeah. So physically, yeah. There's
It's
a
an
P.
acronym.
Yeah, there's a P and an M, and your I or your O. You're physically in or out, mentally in or out.
Yeah.
So it felt like the worst place to be, though. Like in hindsight, going, you're out, but you condemn yourself. Like it was doom.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't do it anymore. I was just like, whatever. But it leads to some dark places, along the way where you're just like, I'm doomed anyhow. So whatever.
Real.
But yeah. So that was not. I forget where I was going with that. Sorry.
It's okay. I think we were talking. Okay. I'm trying to remember. I screwed it up. I asked about congregations.
I'm looking at my notes, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm not extending. Ministry school failed me.
We sit here and look at notes too.
The ministry school. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the one good thing you're supposed to get out of that.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes
it did teach me to kind of like publicly speak and stuff. I mean, I'm not great at it, but
slightly less terrified of it.
Slightly less terrified. Yeah. You're not being recorded and people are judging you, staring at you. You're doing a Bible reading and everyone's just like, look at your fucking Bible.
I remember how triggering it was when I had to give the speech for the pinning ceremony when I became a nurse. And they chose me, and I was like, ugh. I'm like, I feel like I'm giving a talk. Anyway, this is not about me.
Yeah, right. No. So anyways, you're born.
I was born. So I am a middle child. I have 3 older sisters. One of them wasn't raised a JW. Kind of long story, but the two
the one I know is older.
Yep.
I didn't know.
All 3 of my sisters are older than me. The one you know is 3 years older than me.
Older than I thought she was. All right.
Damn, that's some
man. If she ever listens to this, well, it's gonna be a good thing,
right?
You look young.
To be fair, she does.
Yeah.
She's got a youthful look.
And then I have a younger brother. My dad was presiding overseer until probably around 15, 16 that I can remember. As far as my age. But then he got sick and he couldn't really do anything more, and he slowly went downhill and passed away in 2007. So it was pretty normal thought process to think that you're going to be a ministerial servant, you're going to be an elder or whatever. It was in a little podunk town. So I don't know if it if you can walk upright, you're going to be an elder eventually, if you show up regularly, but that was just normal. But I never wanted, I had zero interest in going to Bethel or I like the recognition you get it with being a pioneer, but I never was really interested in I got stuff to do. But I mean, I did auxiliary a couple times, but that's probably the extent of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, so like, well, how far did you excel? Did you become a ministerial?
I was
servant,
never
or?
I think I was being considered a couple times, but so I grew up in a small congregation, like 30 publishers max, I think. So there's no one my age. So when I got baptized when I was 15, and that was considered like, I could tell like people were like,
let's speed this up here. Let's go.
What's taking you so long? And so it was just like, well, that's what you have to do, right? That's what you're going to do. So, you get baptized, nothing happened. Everyone's like, you get out of the water, you're like, you feel special.
Oh God, it's so
I'm
weird.
like,
do you feel the Holy Spirit?
Maybe I shouldn't have roughed up my suspect last night, and then I could feel the Holy Spirit. But evidently, Jehovah doesn't approve of me. But no, I was like, I don't feel it any different. And then like I hit 16, and like we move to a slightly bigger town, like 6,000 people. So there's no witnesses, but I can hang around people, like, because we were living in the country. So I start hanging around worldly people. Sorry, worldly people. Yeah, my bad.
The heathens.
It's an honor at this point.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all right. We know what you mean.
Right. And I kind of went downhill from there, at least for the next 2 years. Like, I wasn't doing anything bad, just normal teenage, like, go drink some beer, go hang out, whatever. Probably some stuff that would get me in trouble, but with JWs, but and then my sister convinced me to move to Minneapolis because I think she at the time was living here. Not the sister, but the one that she's 10 years older than me, so she kind of wants to be a little motherly. And I think in hindsight, she probably did it to try to keep an eye on me, like, or try to like get them away from these bad people. And so when I moved up to Minneapolis, started going to the halls there, and I was like, these people do everything we were doing and more. I'm like, well, I was fine with it, but I was like, okay, well, at least I can have friends now, like, and it's okay. I'm like, my family will be okay with it. Like, I'm not going to be like, you're bad because you're hanging around these people. And they're doing the same dirty stuff. I can't even, for probably legal reasons, can't even say that some of the things that we do, like bad. Like,
yeah.
Statute of limitations is probably up.
There wasn't no murder or anything. So yeah, I think that's been expired, but I don't want to end up on a FBI watch list or something. Now that I said that, I'm gonna be.
Yeah, you already are.
We've all been on a watch list once or twice.
We are.
I think listening to your podcast, you said something about your dad having something in his trunk.
Yeah,
might have had relations to that.
There you go.
Type of things, but that was on the milder side of things. That wasn't hurting anybody. So,
been building explosives since I was a kid.
Yeah, but
right, they're easy.
I mean,
so yeah, I moved up here, and then I tried to do what I was supposed to do, but it was always hard. It didn't fit with who I was. Like, I don't know. Yes, being young and like young, dumb, and yeah. and you're drawn to certain things. Like, you want to do certain things, and so I would be good. I was like, okay, I'm handling mics, I'm doing the sound box. That's the extent of it, and I hated studying. I never studied, like, so, eventually I just got comfortable with having a blank watchtower. Yeah, I know I'm answering, but I didn't study. But like, people are looking, like, clearly, you're being judged when your watchtower's blank. You're like,
right, oh yeah,
or else you just like highlight the whole thing. You didn't read it, and you're like, hopefully this passes, But in hindsight, looking back, and I only like through looking back recently realized I wasn't a great witness maybe ever, except for maybe when I was like a kid, and maybe not even exemplary then. Like I always hid that I was a JW in school because I was like one of the only ones. Like I was embarrassed of it.
Yeah.
Like people would know, but I hid it because I'd have to go sit in the library, for Christmas or whatever, birthdays or whatever, or out in the hallway. So people knew, but I was embarrassed of it.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yep. So, did you have ADD too?
I need to take a test or something.
Right.
I think I do.
Because it's all of this is sounding awfully familiar. I hated studying, just never, always questioned, never really was a great witness,
Yeah.
It's all the same.
So I would read for like book study and stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And or like if you're doing a Bible reading, I would have to damn near like memorize that thing. Like read it and read it and read it and read it until like I would be looking at the words, but like kind of skimming past them, and I'd probably be adding in like an and or a the, and there's like, but I was just like I had to have it that down to be fluid, or fluent or fluid.
More fluenter.
Yeah,
I think it's that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it's fluenter.
And I remember getting like last minute when we had book studies in the house, reading, and I don't know if you guys ever had this, but when it's just imploding, you're reading, and it just builds on itself and builds on itself and build like every time you just know like I got inside my head so bad that afterwards, in front of everybody, the conductor's like choose me out, and I was just like, I hate you so much right now. Like I was just like,
that's terrible.
You should have practiced more. I'm like, you don't know me. Like you don't know what it's like. Yeah, like I couldn't read it 20 times. So I'm curious if I have a little of that where it's like.
I forgot that they did that. Like when you do Bible readings and stuff, they critique you right in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone knew I fucked up. Everyone knew like it was a disaster, like just a train wreck. Like no one had to say anything. I knew. But it was just like, and then like insult, like you should really study and practice. And I was like, fuck you.
I think where I peaked was gesturing. You'd be reading the Bible and they're like, you need to gesture more. And I'm like, well, I have what? Like, what are you supposed to do? I'm reading. And they're like, well, you could do like this. I'm like, seriously, that's what I need to do to pass. Like, I'm not going to do that. This is stupid.
Yep.
I never did. Watchtower readings were easier, though. Did you ever do those?
Watchtower readings?
Because you could kind of like banter on stage. Because a lot of times it'd be like my dad or somebody who's doing the Watchtower, and then you kind of like
bullshit.
It's a little more chill.
I think maybe earlier on I got up there, but yeah, I mean it was theocratic ministry school. Like the 2s and 4 talks, and then I never went above that because I was never ministerial servant, and then book study and a little bit of Watchtower, usually like a fill-in, which was a disaster because at best I had studied, and that meant like I read it once,
Right.
So like that didn't happen too often, and I kind of got like the idea that if you weren't good at that, like that was like you weren't going to ascend too far,
like you're not a good witness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. And that's not like what, like, oh, this isn't the truth. Not at all. Like, I thought this was the real deal well beyond that, like, well after leaving. So it was just, I don't know, the foibles of being raised in that where it's like they don't fully understand, like, what's, like, I don't know. I'm rambling.
How old were you when you gave your first talk or reading?
I was a little kid. I don't even, it was, I'm sure I needed like a step stool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
I think I was like 6 or 7.
and I probably got drug on stage, maybe even before that, like as like the second householder, like a number 3 talk.
Oh yeah,
The one that the mom's like,
presentation.
and he wants to give you.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I remember when I gave my first reading, my uncle that you met.
Oh,
It was the second school, and he was the second school overseer. So, and I remember I was so nervous I cried when I was done.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty weak, bro.
I just lost my shit.
It was intimidating though.
I was, yeah,
This is
and
not
same
fun.
deal. I mean, I was, so yeah, somewhere between 5 and 8,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly, but
Right.
Yeah. I mean, those aren't all bad memories, but I wouldn't call them good memories per se. Like they're just
Could have done without memories.
yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I do want to like reiterate on like growing up in a small town. I think it's maybe more tough for people in small towns growing up with us because like anyone that I went to school with that ever sees this, like I wasn't allowed to be your friend. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't allowed, like if I came home and said my friend at school, I would get scolded for saying my friend.
Yeah.
Like
that's an acquaintance.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not your friend.
yeah. It's a peer at best. Like
Yeah.
those aren't friends. Those are worldly people. And so when you're growing up in Holland, like the closest people to your age by far are your siblings, and that's it. Like everyone else is seemingly ancient. At least like 30, 35, and you're like 8.
Right.
And you're like, it's good to have older friends. I'm like, I'm a
Right.
child to have friends.
Right.
So like you would see your friends, you would see people that you would kind of be friends with in the religion, like when my dad would go give talks or district conventions or assemblies. So you're talking like 3 times a year, 4 times a year. You're not like, you need more than that.
Right.
You need more than that. So that was probably the hardest thing about childhood. Just not being able to associate that. And that one time I knocked on that one girl's door and I knew her from school. And it was just,
It just falls out.
I don't even know if I said words. I was just like, close the door, please.
Don't tell anybody.
Like we didn't do this.
Yeah. And she was from a grade or 2 above me, so it was even worse. It was just like, I'm so embarrassed. I think I write the plus with you. That was awful.
Was she cute?
I don't even remember who it was per se, but she maybe was. I don't know if
Either way,
it was
just-
bad.
That would make it more interesting.
Yeah.
I was curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a big deal for kids growing up, like not having like people to associate with.
Or just not
And-
being allowed to be friends with people you want to be friends with.
Told
you
that they're
kinda
bad.
just get along with. Yeah.
That they're gonna die,
Right.
at Armageddon,
Yeah.
and they're bad, and you shouldn't hang around them.
Or if you do, you feel like you have to tell them that.
Right, they're bad, and they're gonna die.
Yeah, because I had friends that would ask,
Yeah.
like, why can't you come over, like into my house, my neighbor, Well, you see, you're worldly, and like,
Yeah.
when you put that child, sorry, put that child in that position, it's just like completely unnecessary and stressful. This sour is just really sour.
Making it sour.
What the fuck?
Do you need something else?
Yeah, here, Amanda. You can drink that one. I'm gonna try this guy here.
Lazy fella.
So I should bring all those next time.
Yeah.
What you're saying?
You still got that
Remember
triple
that.
berry bomb sour over there to
man.
get into too.
It's
I had another
dwindling
question.
down. We
now,
have
too.
4.
I forget what it was. Oh yeah. Do you feel like, so when you said you moved to the cities and you noticed like all the things that they were doing, you know, because that was the exact same thing with me
Oh,
as
yeah,
when I
totally
started.
normal.
Yeah. Huh?
Totally normal.
Oh
Like,
yeah. It's just completely, and like it just kind of, I mean, when I started hanging out with those people, I was kind of on the fence anyways. So it was like, it is a joke, basically, is what was popping in my head. Is like, it is all locational, you know. Like, do you think if you were raised in the city areas or where people were like that, do you think you would have gotten out sooner? Where it was just
Maybe I
everything
would have
was a little
stayed in
more-
longer.
Yeah, because it was a little more
because a
casual.
lot of the people that were
Got that
doing that
outlet.
stuff, a lot of that people that are doing all that stuff, they're elders now.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Good
or at
point.
least they had been. I mean, they're like stepped down to be MSs now. But I don't know. It to me, it once it was like the norm. Like, and there was the good witnesses too that were like sterling. Like, you didn't want to hang around. They were like,
Yeah,
they were going to tell on you if you did like said
my
crap
aunt and
or
uncle.
something. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So like I knew what I was drawn to was people that weren't like at that time so serious about it. Still believed in it. I believed it until I didn't. Like I knew it until I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
Even if I could never explain it right. Even if like when you went to door and you get into a conversation when anyone asks the simplest question now that like is obvious, you couldn't explain it. Like why 1914? Like why 140 like none of it makes sense. Like, and it doesn't hold up to scrutiny. So like when someone would call you to task at the door, you'd be like, I'm just dumb. I don't get it yet, you know? So it was a little bit like self-demeaning or like break you down as far as your confidence and your self-confidence for sure. As far as who you were, your intelligence level, because you were like, I'm just dumb. I don't get it yet, you know?
I remember feeling that way.
Yeah.
My comprehension's bad.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it still is, but
I remember a sister going, because we were at I think it was at book study or maybe we was meeting before service, and they were talking about the 144,000, and I was like, well, what if they're bad when they sin when they're in heaven? She like condescendingly goes, they're immortal. They are above reproof. And I was just like, oh, I'm an idiot. Like, so.
Didn't the angels say?
Yeah. Nah. Don't.
But these ones are going to be incapable. Got it. Got it.
It's going to hurt.
Well, you know, that kind of brings up something too. One of my old roommates, I can't remember, he was talking about a older sister that was part of the anointed or whatever that partook. And he had a movie he wanted to see, but it was rated R, so he wasn't going to watch it. And he mentioned it to her, and she's like, oh, it was okay. And I was like, wait, she watched the rated R movie? And he's like, well, she's part of the anointed, so it's like.
Was she born again?
What?
Like, once saved,
what does
always
that
saved?
matter?
Who's
So if
anointed?
you're,
Don't
like,
say the name.
I don't remember who it was.
Huh.
It was,
Like, you realize that's not how that
Jared
works.
LaPlante that told me about it, but I don't remember who he was talking about.
Was he talking about his boyfriend's mom?
I have no idea who it is. But
no wonder.
I was just like, that makes no sense
She's
to me. So if
anointed.
you're
She said
just
she is. Remember, we discussed this before.
The one that like just added me, not on social media, the recent one.
He's still in, probably barely, but like
I don't know.
anyway. So because that would have been that area of the state.
This on?
Cold.
No.
Does he have the same first name as me?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, got it.
it'll click.
Yeah,
It
I
will.
don't know.
And
But it was just
it'll be like way into something else. Like, what?
How many boyfriends has she had with my first name? You know this one.
You know this.
I'm sure I do.
It's from you are from that area too.
Oh
man.
no, I know who you're. I know who you're talking about. Yes, I know who you're talking about. But I don't know if it was her.
Meanie.
Yeah, I don't know if.
She was too.
A plant.
But I could see if like maybe that she would. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember,
yeah.
Speaking of rated R movies, that's another thing. Like, I never like, I would watch what I wanted to watch. Like, it never, and that's what in hindsight going, like, you're a bad witness. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm a better person for it. But like, I jumped through a lot of conscious hoops, but also felt really shitty about myself too. But I remember maybe 10 years ago, when I was moving back from Florida, I swung by where my sister and brother-in-law live. And I stayed for a couple of days, and I was like, oh, you got to check out this documentary. This documentary. You should see it. It's good. It's I think it's called Touching the Void. It's about a mountain climber. Fantastic. It's a real life documentary, and it's.
This seems really familiar.
It sounds familiar.
I think we watched it.
The
Maybe
guy.
we did. I don't know.
He's like a free or whatever it's called.
No, that's
like,
Free Solo that you're thinking of.
Oh,
That we watched.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, keep
I
going.
don't want to
watch the
like
one on Prime, but I can't remember what it is.
spoiler alert or anything, but like the guy goes through like the shit, like in the process, and the guy is telling the story, and he drops a lot of fuck words.
Nice.
And that made it, I think he dropped more than one. It's rated R. So it was rated R. And I had no idea because it was just documentary. I don't think about those things. And I was still in. I was like, oh, you got to watch this. And it was late night. So his kids were to bed. His wife's to bed. And he's, oh, yeah. Because I told him about the story. It sounded good. He looks at me. He's like, Michael. That's rated R. And I told him about one other, and he looked that up. He's like, "That's rated R too, Michael." I'm like, so we're not gonna watch it? No, we didn't. But you should watch it. It's very, very good.
Touching the Void.
Touching the Void.
All right.
It's very good.
I like watching this stuff. Did you watch
I'm trying to-
Alpinist yet?
No.
The Alpinist.
Alpinist. That is very. It's the same
Alpinist.
stuff.
Yeah.
Alpinist. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, you'd like that.
Yeah.
But
What's the one about that other mountain climbing doc, not Free Solo, his buddy, Alex Honnold's buddy that climbed with him, the one that was taken
Tommy
hostage.
Caldwell.
Tommy was taken.
I don't remember what the name of that one is, but yeah, it's Tommy Caldwell. That was
And-
crazy.
Yeah, I mean they were taken
Yeah.
hostage in Mongolia.
Yeah.
I mean he basically
I think
spoiler
I heard
alert,
of
he had
that.
to throw a dude off the mountain to survive.
Yeah, his person that took him hostage, right?
Yeah.
So is this the one you're talking about?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, but yeah, that one.
But yeah, I was trying to remember Tommy
And
Caldwell.
then he cut his finger off in a table saw and retrained himself to climb. Like he's still just climbing the tiniest stuff with his missing his one pointer finger. He would put his nub in dirt and sand, like jars of it, and just roll it around just to build up a callus and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude's a badass. But we digress.
Anyway,
I don't
but I want to watch that documentary. I haven't seen that. Have you seen the doc?
Which one?
Tommy Caldwell?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to watch it yet. It's on Prime. Go ahead.
No, I don't even know where. Like, I don't know
Well, yeah,
what
we
road
were just
took to
talking about
get here.
double standards, basically.
That you
Rated R
were
movies.
what's the word?
Anointed, 140,000.
No,
I was.
You were anointed?
Yeah, it was.
No.
No.
Yeah,
It wasn't even ministerial service, but I'm
Oh,
anointed.
child.
Better than you, elder.
And we're talking about R-rated movie.
Yeah.
And how he looked down on you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And something about anointed.
You can talk about like the hypocrisy and how that was just a
Yeah. Let's see. I know I'm jumping all over the place.
You're doing just fine.
So,
is fun.
in hindsight, I realized why I probably got married later than most JWs. I got married at 25. So that's like old man, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
In
You're,
hindsight.
you're in the second round.
Yeah.
Most of them have been married and
I don't know
divorced
if you're
once
I
already.
don't know if you're getting the slim pickings.
if
Where's
you're
the
25
old- I
and a
don't know,
JW girl.
Yeah.
Like if you're a sister.
Oh, that's
Oof.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're 25 and you're trying to find it.
Yeah.
So I think what it was so I was really good at not getting caught at anything. I never got caught. But the main thing
Until I did.
I didn't mess around with JWs. Like I I would do my dirt, whatever you call it, like whatever it might be, like hanging out at the club or whatever. I wouldn't do it with witnesses. Like I know where this is gonna go. Someone's gonna get a conscience. Like the next day, I go, I really shouldn't have sucked that dick. And then go and like, you know, and then say, oh, he was there, watching, cheering me on.
Yeah.
No.
Giving me pointers.
Yeah. No, so I never did that. But like, I think there was enough of a reputation that like, because I think I got privately reproved when I was, I want to say 21. And then I would go through these good stints after like 6 to 9 months. I was like, I'm doing everything I can, get my privileges back, you know, be able to answer again. And then, you know, once it gets back, eventually you settle back into routine. And I think that went on enough where, you know, yeah, you're probably not looked at as like, well, you're not a ministerial servant. You're like, you're kind of, but it was always this weird world where I lived in between because I never got to fully enjoy what I really wanted to do. Because I was like, I confused a lot of girls growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to them. Like, it'd be like, I don't know how to even put it into words. Like,
oh, you'd go right up to the line.
Yeah, and your line would kind of, you kick it down the road a little bit every so often, like, but you would still stop it in this weird, like, and it just, they must have been like, it's me. No, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. It was me. It was, I was in a cult. But like, it's a bad place to live because you're in that in between. It's the worst. Like, you might just go live life. Like, like either fully dive in one side or the other, or because this, like, living in between, you would still feel guilty as hell for whatever you did, even though you stopped it at that line. And then you're just like, Jehovah's going to kill me.
Right.
Sooner or later.
Dude, I remember coming to terms with, like, I had to kind of fuck with it in my head where I was like, well, you know, even if I don't make it into the new system, at least I did the best I could.
Yeah. Type
thing, you know? So I already was preparing myself, like, in my teens to be like, I might not survive.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, that middle, I don't know, it's like a purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not actually getting to do the things that you would enjoy in life,
right,
which there's nothing wrong with that.
You still feel shitty.
Yeah, you feel shitty, but you're not doing the other side where you're getting praise and love bombed and all this like adoration for being super holy righteous, you know? So you're like, you're just in this weird place, but it was a place I lived for a long, long time. And so eventually I got married when I was 25 because